How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the markets were all over the place today. The S&P and the Dow went down 0.2%. The NASDAQ 100 broke even, and the Russell went down 0.5%. So today we're going to break down some charts, my thoughts on the markets, stocks I'm looking at right now. So sit back, relax, go down below, get your $50 from M1 Finance, simply deposit $100 using my link down below, and we each get $50 to invest with. And you guys can check out my Patreon for all my real-time buys, sells, call outs, and a bunch of exclusive content. That's on Patreon, also linked right down below. So without further ado, let's get right into the video, guys, starting off with SPY, which tracks the S&P 500. And like I said, it was a red day. We went down 0.2%, and as you all can see here on the 20-day 1-hour chart, we're clearly still in this horizontal channel. We've been trading between 437 as support, which was the all-time high from back in the middle of July. So that's a good sign, I guess you can say, the fact that we haven't broken under that. And we've been trading under 441, 442, which was the all-time high from the end of July, and that's just been a sticking point in general ever since the 23rd of July. As you all can see, we got hit there on the 23rd, and many of the, all of the other trading days following the 23rd of July. So we're just bouncing back and forth, guys, and yesterday, or actually no, that was today pre-market, not yesterday. I mean, today was Monday. I mean, what the heck, Stas? Today pre-market, we thought that this could have been the breakout. You know, we were testing 441, the top of the channel, but obviously if I pull up the intraday chart, we failed at 441 pre-market and at market open, and we ended up selling off for the entire day. We dropped about 0.8% if we're looking at the pre-market high to where the S&P closed. So we dropped more than 0.2%. We dropped 0.8% from pre-market high to the market close, and now we are seeing a bit of a a push upwards after market hours here on the intraday chart. So we'll see if this horizontal channel continues, if we continue trading in it this week, tomorrow. It's yet to be seen or yet to be determined, and that is what I'm personally watching for tomorrow and the rest of this week. And when it comes down to QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, this is at a critical spot as well. It's right around 365, which was the all-time high back in the middle of July, and we closed right under it. In fact, we closed at $364.60, and we're right around in the middle, actually, of these moving averages on the hourly chart. So tomorrow and this whole week is going to be a pivotal time period for overall direction here. You know, do we end up breaking out of 365, filling the gap to 369, which is the all-time high on QQQ? Or do we collapse under 364, fall under the 50 SMA here on the hourly chart, and start gunning for the lows from, I think this was Friday at about 361. Also, last week, we almost went under 360. What direction are we going to pick? That is what I'm looking for, and I'm actually going to set my alert at $365 here. We're going to be watching that point tomorrow. A mark is at or above alert, meaning if we break above 365 or if we just tap 365, I'm going to get alerted, and maybe I should put one on the bottom side as well. Maybe at 363.50, a mark is at or below alert. So let me do that as well. 363.5 mark is at or below, create. So there we go. I have two alerts set. That is going to trigger. Either one's going to trigger. Maybe both. We'll see. So those are some quick thoughts on the markets. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you guys are enjoying the video thus far, I'm sure you are, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any of the wonderful content here that I'm putting up on YouTube, or at least I think it's wonderful. Maybe it's not, maybe it's a bunch of crap, I don't know, but do it anyway, guys. It helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. And now let's talk about some stocks here. And number one, which we covered this morning on Patreon, I'm going to cover it again right now, is Tesla. TSLA, what a day, guys. What a day. This ended up going up 3.3%. And if you guys were watching it, paying attention to it today, it was up even more before. It closed at 709, but it was up to 726 earlier in the day before we got some profit taking from 726 to 709. So we did drop a good chunk, about 2.5%. But hey, it still went up 3.2%. I'll take that, as I'm long Tesla, as many of you guys probably are as well. And I'm excited because on the 4-hour chart, we're noticing not only a move above both moving averages, not only a golden cross here, which we have been seeing for weeks, but now with today's breakout, we're moving above that pivotal $700 level of resistance. I mean, that has been a sticking point for almost 2 months at this point. No, maybe not 2 months. More like a month and a half. Pretty close to 2 months. It was more towards the end of June where we started struggling at about 700. So at this point, we broke 700, we got to 725, now we're pulling back down to about 710, and it looks like we're getting another green candle here after hours on the 4-hour chart, and we're trading at 713 after hours. So this dip that we saw intraday, it looks like the bulls are buying it up. So in my opinion, this breakout could be here to stay. I think the likelihood is that we continue moving higher, or maybe we see some choppiness followed by another leg up, with the first target being 745, 750, which was the high point from the end of April, and the second target being the high point from the middle of April at about 780 to about 790. So overall, great breakout here on Tesla. Very strong move. Volumes kicking up. And let me tell you, it's about time. Now we're at levels that we haven't been at in about almost 4 months. So it's about time. Tesla's moving, and the technicals are looking freaking fantastic. And Peloton, PTON, we haven't talked about this one in a couple weeks. This one's been choppy. You know, it's been choppy ever since the end of June, and today it went up about 2.2%. We broke above both moving averages. We held a higher low here at 115 on the 4-hour chart. And I believe overall, look, we're still in that choppy phase, but I think we could end up squeezing the 125, 127, which has been the resistance of this choppy range. And you guys can see, like I said, we held a higher low there, so we might end up, what's it called here? Seeing the ascending triangle play out, because we're making higher lows into the overall resistance of 127. And if you guys know what an ascending triangle is, we ultimately squeeze out of the triangle. So yeah, I think that's possible. So we could catch a move maybe from 121 to about 127 initially, which you guys can see based on that oval tool I just used. That's about a 5% move in and of itself. And from 127, that is where the real breakout is going to come. I think we could go from 127 maybe to about $138, $140, which is the next big resistance, which was support all throughout January into the middle of February 2021. So I'm watching out for that breakout on Peloton. So I'm going to put two alerts here. One at 121. Mark is at or above 121. That's going to be my first alert. And then my second alert is going to be at maybe 120, 127 should work right at the top of this choppy channel. So we're going to be watching Peloton, PTON, Skyworks Solutions, SWKS is another one I'm looking at right now. We covered this one after they reported earnings recently. The stock dropped, if you guys remember, after they just reported earnings. It went down from about 200 to 177, so it did drop about almost 11%. And since then, today, including today, obviously, it recovered a bit. Today it went up 1.5%. Looks like we are holding a higher low above the 180 SMA on this 4-hour chart. So I'm thinking we might fill the gap back up to that high from pre-earnings or before they reported earnings. And that high, like I said, was right around 195, 200. That is where it was before that earnings report. And from where we are now up to that point, let's say from 187 to about 195, 200, that's anywhere from 3 to 5% upside. And that is the neckline of the head and shoulder. That level needs to break on Skyworks Solutions. I can't reiterate it enough. It needs to break. And if it does, at 195, 200, if the neckline breaks, the head and shoulder goes out the window, and Skyworks Solutions could be filling the gap to 205, which was the all-time high from back in the end of April. So watch out for Skyworks. AMAT, also known as Applied Materials, this is testing a big level of resistance right now, right around 142 to 145. This has been a sticking point for the stock since the end of March, and you can see how many times we failed there. But overall, this is also, in my opinion, well, you can't really argue it. It is. It's an ascending triangle. We're making higher lows. We're above the moving averages. Now we're testing the resistance again. And remember, how does an ascending triangle play out? Well, it breaks out of the resistance and we see a huge leg up. So in this instance, in this case, AMAT, if it breaks 145, which I should put my alert right there, right? If it breaks that level, 145, this could end up squeezing up, and we don't know. Actually, this is definitely the all-time high, so there's no other resistance points ahead of us here, but who knows? It could go 150, could go 155. The sky is the limit, no joke, if we end up breaking out of here. I mean, you can see clearly in the past, when we've broken out of previous resistance points, back when it was hitting all-time highs in November, December, January, into February, March, every time it broke out, it saw a leg up of 15 to 20%, right around there. So am I saying it's going to break out from here and make another 15, 20% leg up? Maybe, if history repeats itself, that would put it well over 160. But I'm not necessarily banking on that because history, a lot of the time, it doesn't repeat itself. But all I'm doing is I'm just keeping it in the back of my head, right? If it breaks 145, it could see a huge run. That is what we're waiting for. And the next stock here is Tattooed Chef, ticker symbol TTCF. The talk of the town, well, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people don't own Tattooed Chef, but I feel like a lot of people in the YouTube community do. And I personally own it. I'm long. And they went up 1.3% just today. And they report earnings in about 10 days from now, if I'm not mistaken. They report on, the 12th of August. And as of now, this stock has been boring. I mean, it's just been boring. There's no other way to put it. It ran up a lot from 16 back in the beginning of May to about 23. That was about a 3-week run, and it did go about 30% there. So at that point, it wasn't that boring, but ever since the beginning of June, about almost 2 months at this point, this stock has gone down $3 per share. In other words, it's down about 15%, and it's just been choppy. It's just been very choppy. It's been moving under the moving averages. We're seeing a death cross here on the 4-hour chart, but on top of that, we're noticing a wedge forming as well. Lower highs plus higher lows at the same time. So we're squeezing deeper and deeper into this wedge, which tells me one thing. It tells me that direction needs to be picked. Whether we end up, well, now we're trading above the 50. Whether we break up above the 180 SMA, back to those highs from the beginning of June, or do we collapse under the 50 SMA? We break the support of the wedge, and then we start moving down to the teens. And I think it really, well, we are in the teens now at 19, but I'm thinking 15, 16. And it really does depend on earnings, with earnings coming out in 10 days. And we know this company has been expanding like no other. Kroger, Target, Walmart, so many of the big chains out there carry Tattoo Chef products. Now we need to see that in the earnings. We need to see that, the expansion really reflect in the numbers. So if they crush EPS, revenue, guidance is great, this stock could really see a big move. And I'm not sure what the short interest is on this one, but if it's still up 10, 20, 30%, I don't think it's 30%. Maybe it's in the 20% ballpark. If it's up there, don't be surprised if we see a short squeeze on this one as well after earnings, or maybe even before earnings if people want to get out of it. And by people, I mean the shorts, if they want to get out before earnings and they start covering. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that squeeze. We'll see. So that is TTCF. I'm long. I'm watching it, and I'm holding on tight, guys. I'm holding on tight. And Shopify is another one that did well today. It went up 2.5%. We held a higher low above the 180 SMA. Now we're fiddling with the 50 SMA. We are creeping above it a bit here after hours, and this is a good sign to me. This is telling me the uptrend's continuing, and I'm thinking, especially if we break out of 1550, which was that high point from the middle of June throughout the middle of July, so for pretty much a whole month. If we break out of there, this could see a pop to 160, or not 160, gosh, guys, 1660, right? 1660. So I'm going to put my alert right at 1550 right now. And again, if that takes out, we break that point, we're probably, and I'm not a genie, I don't have the crystal ball. I wish I did, but I don't. If we break out of there, look, we might see a $100 per share move, or in other words, 5-6% of a breakout. So that's Shopify. Alibaba is the last stock for today, BABA. They report earnings in the morning. So we're going to wake up, we're going to wipe the crust off our eyes, and we're going to see Alibaba's numbers. And if you guys have been buying the stock, as I have the past couple of weeks, we're going to be either losing a lot of money or making a lot of money on paper. And to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not looking to sell Alibaba anytime soon. This is a longer-term growth, and it's kind of a value play. It's opened up as a value play now, considering how cheaply valued it is, even though it's very risky with the whole Chinese government and so forth. But we're going to be making money on paper tomorrow. If you guys have options or whatever, let me know down below if you have short-term options. If you have the kahunas to do that, you're probably going to be making money if you pick the right side. Who knows? But overall, when we wake up, earnings will be out. And the stock, I said this yesterday, and I'm almost right. I mean, I said yesterday this could run into earnings, and it ran up $5 today, 2.5%. It closed over 200. And if they do well with earnings, I mean, this could be a runner up to 210, maybe 220 if the rally gets exhausted. And that would put it right towards the top of this channel here. And with today's close, we closed above the 50 SMA, which is good. Now, will it run up to the 180 SMA on the 4-hour? Maybe. That's right around $210. I think that's definitely possible, again, with a strong earnings report, which, if I had to guess, and I don't gamble on earnings, guys, that's not my style, and you all know that at this point. If I had to guess, I think Alibaba will do well with earnings. Now, does that always, what's the word here? Does that always equate to a stock price going up? Good earnings, stock price going up? No, sometimes you see a stock price go down after a good earnings report, which is the craziness of the markets. But hey, we're going to be watching it. I'm long Alibaba. My average is right around $200. And if it goes under 200 again, 190, 180, 175, 170, which I don't know if it goes down there again, but who knows? It can. I will be buying more, but not a crazy amount. I'm long this stock, but I'm keeping it at a reasonable size, at about 5% of my portfolio, because I don't want to be long this stock with a huge amount of money due to the inherent risk with the Chinese government, right? There's a lot of risk there. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but for me, I'm willing to take it on with about 5% of my portfolio. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, go down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. And don't forget, if you guys want to check out the Patreon, it's linked down below. You get all my buys, sells, call outs in real time. Any moves I'm making are all on Patreon. And if you sign up for the top tier, you get an exclusive morning update video every single day. And on top of that, you guys have more access to me via DM throughout the trading day, all on Patreon, link down below, or you guys can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon and make sure to get your $50 from M1 Finance. Use my link, deposit $100. We each get $50 to invest with. It's that simple. So I'll catch you guys in the next video, which, by the way, I made a video earlier today. I'll pop it up here. Click that. Check it out. 3 more stocks in that video. I'll catch you guys there. Thanks for tuning in again. As always, keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there. Peace out.